oxygen because oxygen is already, excuse me, already there. And what do I mean by already there? It's present. That is the elemental form of oxygen. So there is no enthalpy involved in forming it. Okay? So there's only enthalpy involved in forming 3 of these things. What is our C3H8 formed from? C3H8 is formed from I'm leaving it on the reactant side for right now, is formed from carbon, and we know that we just said earlier it's not diamond carbon, it's graphite carbon, plus hydrogen in its most standard form is H2, okay? And we need to balance that because we only want 1 of those. So that means we need 3 carbons and we need 4 of these guys, okay? And then remember yesterday I said keep your arrows lined up when you're doing these kind of things where you got to add stuff together. It just is helpful. For our next thing that we have to form, which is our carbon dioxide up here, we need 3 of those. Okay? What's carbon dioxide going to be formed from? And notice I kept it on the product side because that's where it was. It is also formed from carbon, solid, plus, I'm going to run out of room here. Hold on a second. Let's go back. It is formed from carbon, which is a solid, plus oxygen, which is O2 form of oxygen, right? And we actually get 3 of those, if you look right here. So that means we need 3 carbons and we need 3 oxygens, okay? And then we have the water. What is water formed from? And that's another product, so we'll put it on the product side of the arrow. 4H2O liquid. What do we form that from? We form that from H2 gas plus O2 gas, okay? And in order to make this all balanced, we get 4 of those, okay? And how many oxygens do we end up getting? We get 2 of those, all right? Now, we have to figure out what is the enthalpy of formation for those, all right? And that's where we go back and we look at that table. So I'm not going to head back to the table. You head back to the table. But what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we are going to add up, just like this, the delta H for the reaction is going to be all of those enthalpies, okay? So we're going to have a delta H for this. This we're going to call H1. We're going to have a delta H for this. We're going to call that H2. And we're going to have a delta H for this, and we're going to call that H3. All right? And I just dropped my pen, so we will be pushing the pause button. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, so I looked up my numbers for enthalpy in my book, in the table in my book, while I was putting my pen back together. And these are the numbers that I found. For the for the propane, we're on the next one, it's propane, negative 103.8. For the carbon dioxide, it was negative 393.5, and for the water, it was negative 285.8. Did you grab the right one for the water? Because we had liquid water here. So make sure you had the right number. And head on to the next video.